12 Stoic Lessons. Build a Mind So Strong It Scares People. By Sculpted Grace. Introduction. The still point in a turning world. There's a quiet kind of power that doesn't shout. It doesn't rush. It doesn't beg to be seen. It simply is. That is the power of the Stoic mind. Calm, clear, and unbending. In a world of noise, the Stoic stands apart not because life is easier for them, but because they have learned how to remain still when the world trembles. They discovered that peace is not found in perfect circumstances, but in perfect awareness of what you can and cannot control. They lived through wars, exiles, and betrayals, yet wrote about serenity as if it were a muscle anyone could train. To live this way is to live awake. It is to understand that pain, failure, and uncertainty are not punishments. They're invitations to mastery. When we study Marcus Aurelius, Seneca, and Epictetus, we're not studying relics of the past. We're studying manuals for modern survival. Each lesson you'll hear today isn't theory. It's a tool you can use. 12 ideas, 12 practices to anchor your mind in strength, no matter how hard the winds blow. 1. The shift that changes everything. Everything begins with perception. We suffer not because events are cruel, but because we demand they be otherwise. Marcus Aurelius wrote, "The impediment to action advances action. What stands in the way becomes the way." The moment you stop asking, "Why me?" and start asking, "What can I do with this?" you cross the threshold from victim to master. Every hardship, from a lost job to a broken heart, can either shrink you or sculpt you, depending on how you see it. Think of a blacksmith forging steel. Fire doesn't destroy the metal, it strengthens it. Likewise, difficulty reveals what you are made of. The Stoic accepts the facts of life with radical honesty and uses them as fuel for growth. The next time adversity knocks, pause before reacting. Say to yourself, "Here's my training," because that's what every challenge really is, training for the unshakable mind. 2. Master the art of letting go. Epictetus taught that freedom begins when you learn what belongs to you and what does not. You cannot control the weather, the opinions of others, or the outcomes of every effort, but you can always control your choices. Most anxiety comes from confusing those two worlds. We spend our days trying to rewrite what's already written instead of mastering the one script still in our hands. Our response. Try this. When something frustrates you, ask, "Is this within my control?" If the answer is no, release it. Literally exhale it out of your body. That's not giving up. It's taking back your strength. The Stoic lets go, not because they're careless, but because they refuse to be chained to what they cannot change. And in that surrender, paradoxically, they discover peace, the rarest form of control. 3. Break the habits that weaken you. Character isn't built in grand moments. It's shaped in the silent hours when no one's watching. Seneca warned, "Show me a man's habits, and I'll show you his destiny." Each time you choose distraction over purpose, complaint over effort, comfort over discipline, you dull your own blade. The Stoic mind sharpens itself by replacing passivity with presence. Start small. Replace one complaint with action. Replace one excuse with motion. Wake when you said you'd wake. Speak less. Listen more. These aren't small acts. They're declarations of power. Each time you keep a promise to yourself, you reinforce the foundation of self-trust. Over weeks and months, that trust hardens into confidence. Eventually, you won't need to convince anyone that you're strong. You'll simply live it. 4. Practice discomfort. Daily Seneca, though wealthy, slept on the floor once a month to remind himself he could. He ate plain bread instead of feasts, so that luxury never owned him. Discomfort, he believed, was the antidote to fear. When you willingly walk toward hardship, life has fewer ways to hurt you. The Stoic doesn't chase suffering, they train with it. In our age of comfort, this practice is revolutionary. Take a cold shower, run when it rains, delete the app that wastes your time. Sit in silence with your thoughts. Each deliberate hardship is a rehearsal for real storms. When true adversity strikes, you'll recognize the terrain. You'll stand in the cold and think, I've been here before. That quiet familiarity breeds courage, the kind that doesn't collapse when comfort disappears. 5. Master your emotions. Under fire, the Stoic does not suppress feeling. They translate it. Anger becomes energy. Fear becomes focus. Grief becomes gratitude for what was. Imagine a commander in battle. If he panics, the army falls. The same is true within. When emotion rules reason, chaos wins. But when reason guides emotion, even fire becomes light. Next time someone provokes you, try this. Pause. Count to 3. Observe the feeling as if watching smoke rise. Don't chase it. Don't fight it. Simply watch it fade. That distance is power. Over time, your emotional world stops being a storm and becomes a river. Still moving, but flowing in the direction you choose. The Stoic's calm is not coldness. It's clarity preserved in heat. 6. Redefine failure. Marcus Aurelius faced plague, betrayal, and rebellion, yet wrote nightly about gratitude. Failure to him wasn't defeat, it was data. Epictetus, once a slave, said, circumstances don't make the man, they reveal him. To the Stoic, failure is feedback, a lesson wearing the mask of loss. Every time life says no, it's offering you a sharper mirror. Think of Edison's words, I've not failed. I've just found 10,000 ways that won't work. That's Stoicism in motion. When you treat mistakes as mentors, the sting softens and learning accelerates. Reflect after every setback. Ask, what truth did this reveal about my approach, my patience, my expectations? Then adjust. Growth rarely feels like victory, but every refinement moves you closer to wisdom. 7. Build an unshakable core. Picture your mind as a fortress. The world pounds on its walls, criticism, chaos, temptation. But if the foundations are deep, you will not fall. Stoic strength is rooted in values, honesty, courage, temperance, justice. These are not decorations, they are anchors. A person guided by values can lose everything and still remain whole. Building that core takes repetition. Every calm response to insult, every disciplined choice when no one's looking, every small act of integrity fortifies your inner structure. Others will feel your steadiness before they understand it. They'll wonder why you don't flinch. That's because you've trained to move from principle, not impulse. When storms rage, you don't need to shout your strength. You'll simply stand, and that will be enough. 8. Cultivate discipline. Over motivation. Motivation is a spark. Discipline is the fire that keeps burning when the spark dies. Stoics understood that feelings are unreliable guests. They visit, then vanish. Duty, however, stays. A soldier doesn't wait to feel brave. He acts bravely. The artist doesn't wait to feel inspired. She begins and inspiration follows. Build rituals that anchor you. Wake at the same hour. Move your body even when tired. Read before you scroll. Discipline transforms chaos into rhythm. Over time, you'll notice a quiet pride growing in you, not arrogance, but assurance. You trust yourself because you've proven that action doesn't depend on mood, and that reliability, that constancy, is the mark of true inner power. 9. Keep perspective. Memento mori. Every Stoic carried this whisper. Memento mori. Remember, you must die. Not to brood, but to awaken. Mortality sharpens meaning. When you know time is finite, you stop wasting it on trivial battles. The insult, the delay, the slight inconvenience, none of it survives the perspective of death. Try this practice. Each morning, remember that this day is a gift, a single page that will never be rewritten. What will you fill it with? Anger or purpose? Complaints or creation? Seneca advised, "It is not that we have a short life, but that we waste much of it." Living with death in mind doesn't make you morbid, it makes you precise. You start living deliberately, loving urgently, and acting with the serenity of someone who knows the clock is sacred. 10. Choose virtue over victory. The Stoics' success is measured not by applause, but by alignment, the harmony between what is right and what is done. A win that costs your integrity is a loss in disguise. Marcus Aurelius commanded armies, yet wrote constantly about humility. He knew power without virtue decays. Ask yourself in every decision, is this just? Is this wise? Is this courageous? Is this measured? If the answer is yes, you've already won. Virtue is the compass that prevents your ambition from turning toxic. When the noise of competition fades, only your character remains. True greatness doesn't need witnesses, it only needs honesty. 11. The power of stillness. Marcus Aurelius began each day in silence, writing reflections that no one would read for nearly 2,000 years. That solitude wasn't luxury. It was maintenance. In stillness, he recalibrated. In stillness, he remembered who he was. Today, stillness is rarer than gold. Our minds drown in notifications, opinions, and endless urgency. The Stoic antidote is deliberate pause. Sit without a screen. Breathe. Let thoughts drift by like clouds. Don't chase them. Don't judge them. Just observe. Slowly, clarity returns, and you see how little of the noise matters. The Stoic uses stillness as a forge, turning confusion into direction. 5 quiet minutes can correct 5 chaotic hours. Try it, and you'll rediscover the strength that silence hides. 12. Become the calm in the chaos. Every crisis reveals one figure who doesn't flinch. While others panic, they breathe. While others argue, they listen. Their presence steadies the room. That's the Stoic ideal, not dominance, but composure. To be the calm in the chaos is to lead without needing authority. This calm is built, not born. You create it every time you resist the urge to match another's anger, every time you choose patience over haste. Eventually, calm becomes your default language. People will feel safer near you, not because you fix everything, but because you don't lose yourself while trying. The Stoic doesn't escape the storm. They become the still center within it. That presence is the legacy of true strength. Conclusion: the quiet strength. The Stoics never promised comfort. They promised clarity. They taught that peace is not the absence of struggle, but mastery within it. Each lesson you've heard, perception, discipline, stillness, virtue, is a practice, not a destination. Apply even one, and the world begins to change shape. So, start small. When anger rises, pause. When fear whispers, act anyway. When comfort tempts, choose growth. Over time, these small victories sculpt something unbreakable inside you. That's what it means to live with sculpted grace, to walk through the noise without losing your stillness, to meet chaos with calm, to stand tall and say, I cannot control the world, but I can always control myself. And in that choice, you become free.